Being cute and famous does not mean you can't get angry. Over the years, we have seen how people try to get on the nerves of the Bangtan Boys, from fans to interviewers to random people. Thankfully, the boys were able to handle all situations with wisdom and expertise. Now tell me, how won't someone love these boys? In today's episode, we will be highlighting the 5 times BTS got angry on camera. Number 5. ARMY being called crazy. This sure burned down the internet, as an interviewer called ARMY crazy. On the 21st of February 2020, BTS was invited for an interview with the radio personality SEO. He asked the Bangtan Boys about their new album Map of the Soul. 7. Their tour preparations, future aspirations, current favorite artists, and other topics. The interview was going kind of okay, despite his bits of unprofessionalism, until he dropped the bombshell. He said, "Let's talk about the BTS ARMY," and then added, "These fans, they're pretty insane." The fanbase immediately went wild with rage at how SEO labeled them. Trust ARMY to come for SEO on the internet, especially on Twitter. Even before the interview, he had been making bad remarks about BTS fans. So what did BTS do? Well, considering the fact that they were on national TV and didn't want to escalate the matter during the interview, the boys kept their cool but couldn't hide their expressions. They were deeply angry and disgusted with SEO describing their fans that way. It was visibly written on their faces. The drama got even more heated after the interview, and BTS fans kept dragging him on Twitter. Still being nonchalant, he posted a picture with hair on Twitter and called it BTS hair. That was the last straw, the one that broke the camel's back. The ARMY came at SEO with full force, tired of the Western media always portraying them as crazy fans obsessed with their K-pop idols. ARMYs don't take it easy on anyone who disrespects them or their stan idols. If that isn't true stanning, I don't know what is. Number 4. When they were asked uncomfortable questions. During the press release of BTS's new album Map of the Soul, Persona, a South Korean reporter among the press journalists, directed an inappropriate question regarding BTS's previous hit titled Blood, Sweat and Tears. He asked, "You mentioned a lot about inspirations behind your albums, and I want to ask you a question about how you gain inspiration from various works. I was curious if you were inspired by other works for your previous albums outside of the latest one. Last February, there were talks about Blood, Sweat and Tears being inspired by another work. I was wondering if you can talk more about that or the news reports that talked about it." The question was quite unclear at first, and SUGA and RM politely asked the reporter to repeat the question. The reporter then decided to be more straightforward and cautiously asked what they thought about the claims that the Blood, Sweat and Tears concept was stolen from the works of a French photographer. He said, "I brought up Wings and Blood, Sweat and Tears because I wanted to know if it was plagiarizing. I wanted to know more about these issues brought up by the French photographer. I know these questions can be uncomfortable, but I wanted to hear what you had to say." After the reporter was done with the question, SUGA picked up the mic and responded professionally, saying, "In regards to that, our company's legal team is talking to the photographer. I believe that our official stance will be the same as our company's. Our company is currently looking into it, so I'm sure we'll know the results when they come out. Thank you." Without hesitation, the child answered that the plushies were more important. This response got Jimin angry and disappointed. He couldn't hide his facial expressions about how the reply made him feel. He later advised the child to focus more on his real family instead of the plushies. Despite Jimin's scary face when he got angry, he was still able to coordinate his words properly, speaking not out of anger, but out of love and care. Jimin to the rescue. Number 2. SUGA and RM get angry at Be Free. BTS's SUGA and RM, Be Free, and another hip-hop artist took part in Kim Bong-hyun's Hip-Hop Invitational first anniversary broadcast in 2013. According to reports, because many of the fans gathered there were BTS fans taking photos of their idols, some underground rappers began to joke about the presence of idols. This eventually led to a real debate about idol rappers versus underground rappers. BTS was not as well known at the time as they are now. The majority of the conversation was between Be Free and the BTS members. Be Free said, "You guys, SUGA and RM, could have taken the road of becoming rappers, but you couldn't beat that temptation. Is BTS's music hip-hop? Is wearing makeup on stage like a girl hip-hop?" SUGA responded calmly and directly by saying, "I can't really understand why you describe that as temptation." ARMYs demanded an apology from Be Free after he made these disrespectful comments. Not only toward SUGA and RM but toward all idol rappers. Be Free, on the other hand, made no apologies and instead chose to mock the ARMYs who criticized him. In response, the rap line of BTS later released a diss track directed at Be Free. Be Free finally did apologize to BTS, but it was several years later, long after the incident, and many fans still haven't forgiven him for his words. trust armies to come through for their faves. They attacked him everywhere online. One even asked, "Who is Be Free?" Others staged a protest under one of his music videos. You really do not want to mess with BTS or ARMY. Number 1. When a fan intentionally skipped V and went to Jimin. Around the time BTS debuted, they attended many events to boost their public recognition. As they were already becoming quite popular, fans had the opportunity to get autographs from the boys during these moments. However, during one such event, a particular fan intentionally skipped V, also known as Taeyong, and went straight to Jimin. V wasn't happy with what happened and looked sad for a little while. He kept glancing at the fan, hoping she would realize she had hurt his feelings, but she kept her gaze fixed on Jimin. V tried to wave off the awkward moment by smiling and greeting other fans, but it was obvious he was still hurt. Jimin, being the magnet of the group that he is and like a big brother despite being considered the magne, started playing with V to cheer him up. Soon, V began laughing and forgot about the embarrassing moment. The BTS fanbase ARMY was not particularly happy to see this. ARMYs are supposed to love and respect all the boys equally, not favor just one or two. A group of fans who cherish only certain members and ignore or dislike the others are called AKIs. These AKIs show love only to their favorites and disrespect the others, which the boys have spoken out against multiple times. BTS has made it clear over the years. They are all equal. No one deserves to be treated as lesser than the others. They all put in the same amount of work, time, energy, and creativity. This is just one of the many reasons you have to love BTS, always standing up for themselves and, most importantly, respecting each other. That unity is one of the things that has kept them strong and successful. And that wraps up today's episode. 5 times BTS got angry on camera. Which one made you angry too? Tell us in the comments section below. Or, is there any moment we missed in the video? We'd love to hear from you in the comments.